All 7-9ers making contact at .003.
Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm James.
Ralph.
And we are back. I'm back
You're back.
talk about the Acolyte episode 6, Teach/Corrupt.
Right.
And if I sound a little bit different to normal, is because I'm still recovering from a fun week in a field, partying too much.
Right. We're not doing this alone.
Oh.
Patrick's here.
Hey, Patrick.
You did that so fast. I wasn't ready.
I know. I saw that you weren't ready. How you doing?
Guys, am I the most recurring person on this show?
We think so.
Because I was look, a plug for my website. I was updating my website yesterday, and I was putting all the videos of me on here, and I was like, Jesus, I've been on this show so many times, and I didn't realize it was like 7 or 8 times. It's a lot.
And there's one episode where you're not mentioned that you were on.
Oh, that's true.
Because of certain things were happening in Hollywood that maybe you were like, maybe I shouldn't be on this thing.
I forgot about that. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah,
I don't think we're promoting.
You've been on every show, and then like even you were our first guest. So yeah, you've been on a bunch and a bunch of like other episodes in between shows.
Wild.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to be back, as always.
Patrick,
yeah, that's
it. You posted an Instagram story of this shirt, and my wife saw it and immediately bought me this Rick McCallum shirt.
I need to buy it.
Absolutely
I haven't
love.
bought it yet.
It's so good. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it to. I mean, I don't. If you were to ever do a follow up to the Naboo movie that you did with Star Wars Minute, if you're ever to do a follow up with that, possibly in episode 2, I would wear this to that. As well.
Big if.
Who
knows? Maybe mid-August. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe.
And for any of you that haven't seen it, I'm going to plug this right off the bat.
Please
go to the George Lucas Talk Show YouTube channel and look up the Naboo movie. It is a live stage reading of The Phantom Menace with the guys from hosted by Star Wars Minute and George Lucas Talk Show, mainly the Patrick side of George Lucas Talk Show. It's free.
Sure. NabooMovie.com. You can do that too.
Yeah.
But if there happens to be another one, people should pay for the live stream because it is so worth it.
Yes, and when we do them, when people pay for live streams, it's how it helps us do future ones down the road. So it is very important when the live show happens. If the live show happens,
these are all big ifs.
To help support and watch the live streams. So keep an eye out, and we'll see what happens. Probably in the next couple of weeks. Keep an eye out.
All right. Hopefully, in a little bit less than then, I can get a secret text message to the secret link.
Ooh,
please.
Ooh.
Dude, my butt was sore. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to overcome that because of the Dynasty typewriter seat, because the show was a bit long. Because it is
that's not my fault. Blame George Lucas.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? The only thing that I felt like, never mind. I have notes.
No, you have to just say it now.
Set up like that.
Do that and then not say it.
I mean, none of your scripts that were all holding were on yellow legal paper.
Sure. Okay, maybe you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, Ralph.
Big. Yeah. I know. It sounded like a lot of work. How many people did you have reading that?
I think it was 16 people.
So you had at least 16 scripts, all tailored to the individual person.
Yeah. They were all highlighted.
Yeah, it sounded like a nightmare.
It really was.
My favorite was Bobby didn't have dialogue the majority of the night, but he had that script with him at all times. That was a good bit.
Yeah, Bobby Moynihan played Darth Maul in full makeup. Haley Joel Osment was Anakin. Tony Hale was Qui-Gon. It was crazy.
It was amazing. It was amazing, amazing to see.
Yeah, it was very fun.
It's quite the thing to see.
All
right.
Quite a thing to see was last week's episode of The Acolyte. You
weren't here for it.
I wasn't here for it. My first main episode that I've missed, which is unfortunate considering how good last week's episode was. If anyone is curious what I thought of it, literally the moments after I finished watching it, you can go check out the Instagram page where I put up a 5-minute video in a car talking about it at 5:30 in the morning. So I was really pleased when I listened back to Ralph, you guys talking about it, you and Vactor talking about it, that without checking in with what you guys had said, I kind of said a lot of the same stuff. So I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
I didn't need to worry about it. And yeah.
That's because Disney told you what to say because they paid you plenty of money.
We got all those shield happening.
Dollars. Holy shit, dude. We're getting so many of this shield talk. It's nuts, dude.
Good.
It's nuts.
I will happily accept shield dollars every day of the week.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that people don't understand is any of those people complaining about getting paid by Disney is yeah, you would take that money.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And I would not be scared to tell anyone.
Yeah.
My favorite is Star Wars Theory.
I just stood here waving it at me.
My favorite is Star Wars Theory, who's the
I don't know who that is.
Patient Zero. He's Patient Zero for assholery in Star Wars.
I don't know who that is.
Anyway, dude's complaining that new rock stars and Star Wars Explained, Alex and Molly, who are the sweetest people, got asked to go to Lucasfilm to talk about the Acolyte and was calling them shills and saying how they're in the pockets of Disney. And it's and then he's like, how come they don't invite me? It's because you're being an asshole.
Yeah, I wonder.
I wonder why.
Weird. So it's
maybe you can theorize about it some more, who knows?
Right. I have a theory.
Yeah, me too. This week's episode though isn't that episode. We've talked about last week's episode. Well, enough. I think people have. It seemed to get pretty much praised. I don't really look at what many other places have to say about them because I've found that Star Wars is much better when you just have your own nice opinions, and if you enjoy something, it's great, and if you don't, whatever. But it's it seemed to be from the vibe that I was picking up that everyone loved last week's episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Understandably so. I don't really know why they would love that episode over the previous rest of this season, other than fighty, stabby,
shiny things.
Shiny things.
I think that's exactly why.
Yeah. In which case, I feel really sorry for you people that if that's all that you enjoy out of Star Wars, that you can't appreciate really good storytelling and performances, then that sucks for you.
The problem with serialized shows that that are spread out over the course of 8 weeks is that you're only getting part of the story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough. So you can get up in arms about Ki-Adi-Mundi being there when there's also a Sith present. But if you continue to watch the story, you're finding out that there's only one person, one Jedi alive that knows about Manny Jacinto.
Yeah.
And
Chimera, the stranger, Manny.
And so
Darth Bortles.
Hopefully people understand. Yeah. Hopefully people start understanding oh, maybe I should get the full context of the story before I nitpick something I don't know, about.
On the internet?
It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's a shame because we've said it all along. This show is awesome. And Ralph, I was if you're there, I was right here with sort of saying that it's your favorite Star Wars show. And Andor was just eking it out, but the more we go with the show, you're right. It is
it's got Star Wars.
It's a
Star Wars show.
It's as a Star Wars show, it is better. I think I still prefer Andor as a show, but as a Star Wars show, it's the best one we've had, and that's great.
I think people just forgot how to watch TV.
Yeah.
I think that's the big problem is with everything dropping all at once on so many platforms that people forget, and Mando and stuff doesn't really have an overarching story, quote unquote. Like it does, but it doesn't
Yeah.
really, where you're like figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
The mystery aspect of it is just like it's too much for some people's brains to handle, I think, and they forget that like you're not going to learn everything in the entire, in the first episode, because that's not how stuff works.
It's we were
very
talking
frustrating.
briefly-
It's people just keep saying like, well, why haven't they told us this? And you're like, well, just watch the damn show. Like,
Yeah.
wait a
you
second.
can really
Watch
see
the
like
show.
the people that
Yeah.
watched and enjoyed Lost and those who just didn't.
Oh, I haven't
Those
watched
who
it yet. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I've heard good things. Ralph?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Patrick,
seeing people like
I don't know if you noticed
like
the description
Caleb.
of this episode, but I said Patrick Cotnoir, George Lucas talk show / Getting Lost. I'm pretty sure you're in it, dude. As of right now, you're still
good.
in it.
That means he can't
No.
cut me out. That's what that means. That's a final.
He's on this
final
podcast. It's credited as being in that on this podcast. So it's
Very fun.
canon.
Yeah.
We're gonna make you legends.
What do you guys think would be the major complaint about this episode for the people who want to do those kind of things?
I mean, do you want the honest answer?
Well, no, not the normal like.
Yeah.
There's only minorities on this episode.
Yeah.
But what do you? Other than that,
There's
stuff?
not Mog. Mog's a white boy.
Oh yeah.
We love Mog. I'm in the Mog squad. That's what I'm calling it.
We lost the Yord Horde and we're now on the Mog
Yeah,
squad.
we're the Mog squad.
That's it. Everyone just transferred over.
Is he Vernestra's
Yeah.
sidekick?
Yeah.
The dude's hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude's face.
Dude's
Everything about
hair.
it. I loved it because I was like, he came on screen and I was like, is that like a comedian who's like does a lot of panel shows over here? And I was trying to look him up because he looks like the sort of person, like a James Acaster type.
Yeah.
Who I was like, oh shit, was he just like DJing at Glastonbury last week and I could have bumped into him? But like, and from what I can see, no, he's just he's just a working actor who does bit parts and stuff, but he's got an interesting face. So
Oh wow.
perfect.
Guys, huge news. I typed in Mog on Wikipedia, right? Just to see what would show up. And the first thing that came up is a Legends article. And it's a deity that Jabba refers to sometimes.
Oh, well, I mean, hey.
Oh,
He says,
this guy can elevate. This guy can elevate.
This is a quote from Jabba from something called Jabba the Hutt Betrayal. By Mog, it'll be good to be home. This trip has made me tired. That classic Jabba quote.
He's the hot god of sleep.
I wonder if there's a reason behind it, because I'm assuming the story group would check Wikipedia at least to make sure the name wasn't used. Yeah.
Whatever.
Have people on the internet been saying that this episode is boring?
I don't know. I don't look at it.
A little bit.
Is that the deal?
I have a small take on that. I agree a tiny bit. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was after last week's episode. Like it's very hard to follow that up with an episode where like not a ton happens action wise. It's all character development stuff, which is great.
A bug gets sliced in half. The end.
A bug gets sliced in half. I do think, and this has been my thing with almost all of the shows, that would have been a great 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I like the show a lot. But there is some stuff where I'm like, you could have made this movie and it would have moved. It would have been people would not have complained as much. I think,
Yeah. And you could have put it straight on Disney Plus if you wanted to. I'd love to get a cinematic, but
I don't understand the aversion to making Star Wars Disney Plus movies is fascinating to me because they make so many other kind of movies that I'm just like,
it's
make it a Star Wars movie.
It's got to just be we need to keep subscribers over months.
Yeah.
It's the same way that like Netflix split their shows now over like part 1, part 2. It's like so we can roll you over, and I bet you that those parts each one of those would roll over a month change. So you get it like in August, September, and then September, October. Like so just to catch as many recurring subscribers as possible. Yeah. Which on a business side of things I get, but on a creative side of it, I'm just like, sucks because it probably would have made a really, really solid movie, and it would have negated all of those complaints.
Yeah.
But still, I like being able to talk about it week to week. So that's
Absolutely.
nice.
Yeah.
At least it's not a binge drop. At least it's not a binge drop.
Yes, totally.
Which is
I'm not
weird.
I'm not mad that it's a TV show. I'm like,
No.
I like TV shows. I like watching it week to week. But I do think that would have solved a lot of the problems that people seem to be having with it.
Yeah.
Because, if they're complaining that they're not getting all the answers 20 minutes in, they'll get them an hour in. You know what I mean? And then you won't have to listen to them. Not that we're listening to them anyways.
Right. I like this episode quite a bit. I feel like it was a really nice way to sort of decompress from the last two episodes, which were so action heavy, and even the episode before, which was so woke that it made me so tired.
It was so woke. So you said
what? Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great. We can get into that later, Ralph.
Anyway, but there's been so much happening. It's nice to kind of decompress. Now that the reveal of Manny Jacinto as the stranger, they're calling him, which is a funny term to use for someone, but it's nice to now kind of understand where he's coming from a little bit more.
We learned loads about him this week.
Yeah, his motivations and stuff. So it's really nice. We're also getting kind of Saul being way, way, way more shady than ever.
Yep. Vern's still super shady. Like I've been trying to sort of see maybe she's got for the right reasons. But this week I'm just like, nah, Vern, you are hiding some shit here. And Saul too. I feel like Saul's riddled by guilt and wants to get it out there, but he's not, and he's still doing the wrong things. He is the sole suspect now.
I mean, Chimera is kind of making a better point.
I think that's the point of the show. That's the point of the show. The initial elevator pitch was what about if it was from the Sith point of view? You get this story from the Sith point of view, and it took until that mirror flip into Dark last week that we started going, okay, now we're getting it from that side as our primary focus.
Do you guys think that this should have been Manny's show versus Osha and May's show?
I think what I like about Osha and May's storyline, it gives you some kind of a way into these things. Because if you're just following Manny the whole time, you're like, I don't sort of identify with this character. I think with having Osha just being like a blue collar firefighter in space, it makes it a little more accessible. And their stories are interesting because they both have their own they both have their own issues, and I feel like they're identifiable issues, either being cast aside by the Jedi. I was never a Jedi, but I feel like there's certain things in my life where I felt like I was left behind, or from May's point of view, where it's like she felt abandoned from her family and her religion and stuff. I don't know.
And that they were attacked. I think they're both relatable in that way. They are both. I can see why each of them went the ways that they did, and it's now we're getting that. It sort of culminated, and they both kind of hit a place in the beginning, during day. I think they were both kind of at the closest they would ever be was during that episode where they kind of would all right, let's bring it all together and we can work it out. And then the shit kicked off, and they would then sort of split, but in opposite directions. May probably is still flip-flopping and doesn't know where she's at yet, but I think she's gonna come around. Maybe.
Are they gonna completely swap and just go the other route? Is it ring theory?
I think
that's where I think it's going. Definitely, I think Osha goes dark. Whether you want to call it dark or not, I think she's already been seduced by this power and by this everything about what Chimera's doing in this episode it's that seduction. It's the temptation. Hell, he's a good looking dude and he just walks right past her and just drops trow straight away. and then like the way that it's the showing he's not afraid of her in any way. He's got the upper hand, but he's also being like, look, you're in control here. If you want to kill me, you can kill me right now. I'm just taking a bath.
Yeah.
But also like, hey, do you want to join me? Like, you can. But if you don't want to, that's fine. The ship's over there, like whatever.
I would pay Leslie $3,000 cash. Okay. If this show ends with OSHA going bad and a close up on her face, the final shot of the season is a close up on her face, and she goes, I figured out my new name. It's Darth Plagueis. And then it cuts the credits. I would pay so much money just because the meltdown would be so fun.
Yeah.
It would be so fun.
It'd be great. It'd be great. And if he like reveals his name to be Darth Tenebrous or whatever, so it's just like, yeah, it's all right there. Like,
yeah.
So all right, that does give me some lore stuff to talk about. So when this episode opened, I think it's intentional that we're thinking of Acto, this planet.
Right.
Like those bug creatures, they make chirps like porgs.
Yeah.
It's islands, it's watery. And I was like, hey, it's listed as unknown planet. Everything about it is just like this.
The little tiny sea cows
could easily be Acto. And I still think if they wanted to go that way, great, cool. Great light, great darkness. It's like all that good stuff from The Last Jedi is there. Why wouldn't the Sith set up a stronghold on the birthplace of the Jedi? Like, great.
Yeah.
And then I was scrolling through Reddit, and I saw someone on one of the nice Star Wars communities, because there are a couple. I think it's
like the dark web.
I think it was Star Wars Cantina. Web. Yeah, basically, you got to dig for it. I think it's Star Wars Cantina, which is nice, and it's just like, hey, everyone's cool and chill here. If you want to chat about stuff, great, but like, don't be a dick. We'll ban you if you are. And someone mentioned, I had to bring up the names because I didn't write it down when I was making my notes. Where is it? Someone mentioned that this could be the planet from the Darth Plagueis novel called Baldamnik, which is where Plagueis killed the other apprentice of Darth Tenebrous, who he didn't know about. Darth Tenebrous was Plagueis' master. He had two apprentices because he was like, just be like, yeah, fuck it. One of them might not work out. The stronger one will kill the other one. And then he's got his same way. Same as Sidious with Dooku and Maul and Vader, and playing always having the next chess piece lined up. He had that. That place was all right. It was like location description wise, it's a bit different. There's spaceports and stuff, but it's also like a hub of cortosis. The metal alloy. It's like that's why they were there. I think in the first place they were mining that. And the fact that
we saw the cortosis.
Like there's a vein of it. Like yeah, and I was just like, that's really interesting. What if this guy is, if they want to go with lore and actually reestablish some stuff, he could be Plagueis. He could be the other apprentice of Tenebrous, or he could be Tenebrous, or I hope it's none of them. And he's not even a Sith. Because of the line readings from last week. I watched it back through last night and I was like, he's like, yeah, I'm not a Jedi. I don't necessarily, like, you would call me a Sith.
Yeah, he said the closest thing. He never says he's a Sith. He says that pretty much the closest word that Jedi have for what he's up to would be a Sith.
Like there's reasons to think that all right, he would be Sith because his whole thing, like, I can't exist. You've decreed that I can't exist, therefore you all must die. But that seems to apply to every other force wielding group at the moment because they were not happy with those witches. They were not happy with anyone. So like by now, they might just be saying, Jedi or not, like you can't be practicing this stuff.
Something I forgot to bring up last week that has been brought up, like a lot of people noticed it, was Kylo Ren's theme showing up.
Yeah.
Surrounding Chimere's character. And I guess during the credits last night, Kylo Ren's theme's like all over the end credit music. Usually the end credits is when I get up, come and set up the studio, make the artwork and stuff. So I didn't catch it, but it could just be setting up the Knights of Ren, possibly.
I love that theory. I love that. I think that's really good. Like,
because there's so many things in here that are like bring up visions of like the Last Jedi, and I feel like if this is the Knights of Ren, it could kind of fill in the stories of what Ben Solo went through.
Doing what Disney
Ben
Plus has
Solo
been doing
coming in.
since Inception, filling in gaps.
Yeah. So I like this. I like this show is weirdly, for me, making the prequels and The Last Jedi better.
Great.
Unfortunately, it's
Really?
making the parts of The Last Jedi that I absolutely love better.
Yeah.
And it's not fixing the slow speed chase, but but it's still I find it, without hitting me over the head, making me think of Octo. Alex over at Star Wars Explained, on his most recent review of this episode, did bring up that planet where Sir or Darth
you know it. Come on, Ralph, you got this.
I was going to say Cerberus, but what's the Cortosis? He mentioned the Cortosis mining and Tenebris and
all those guys.
I guess all those guys were mentioned there too. He might be on the same dark web, good Reddit. I don't know.
Super sneaky Reddit.
But it does. I mean, it is 100% there to remind you that it could be, or remind you of Octo, and because it did look like the sea cows, the little tiny things with the snouts definitely look like baby sea cows.
And then when you cut to the wide like that, there's a chirping that sounds so much like the Porgs, like.
And could it be like the owl from Rebels and Ahsoka, where it's like a force-sensitive creatures, maybe porgs and sea cows, or gravitate towards places with high content of the force? Maybe. And this is just a different place that has baby sea cows, and the one Luke's at has big ass sea cows.
Just a different island, and they didn't really make it over to the other islands. I don't know.
Ladies would love if Chimere starts drinking the milk from the sea cows. You thought this week was sexy. Just wait till next week when Chimere drinks the milk.
Yeah, I think I'd be down with it too.
Yep.
So I was kind of hoping that we would see that sort of hole from Octo.
I really thought we were going to
the Sith hole, and I'm wondering if we'll see one of those.
Something like it doesn't. It doesn't need to even be Octo at that point, or we get the flip of it. We get like a pull to the light. If we're going with the Ren theory, that works too, because of like his whole like forgive me, grandfather, I'm feeling the pull to the light again. Like his whole thing, he's not a Sith. He's with the whole Ren side of things. I love that theory. I think it's really interesting. And if there's if she's starting to go real dark, but there's a temptation back to the light, and she pushes that away and goes full dark, then I think that'd be a nice flip of it. I can see it. I can see it going either way. Or it's just a different planet, and it was meant to invoke it in our minds more than anything else, but it's just somewhere different.
I think it would be crazy if it's a different planet. I think the odds of it being a different planet are wild. Just because it just looks so much like it that it's just like, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
I don't think they put Unknown Planet as a title card without it being something that's going to be revealed.
Yeah, I think so. Although it's sort of hard. The only way you can reveal it is just like showing a board. You know what I mean? Like, it would be weird if in dialogue he was like, well, we're here on Octo, that just would be a strange way to do it.
Does he take her to the temple, to Luke's temple? As a, hey, look,
or to the hole.
Or to the hole. Oh, that'd be, yeah.
Or there's caretakers.
Yeah. Or
there's a caretaker holding a porg.
And a Blu-ray of The Last Jedi.
Yes.
That'd be great. It'd be great. What else? I've got loads of notes. None of them are particularly interesting. I'm trying to stick on that. I really, really enjoyed the Osha is hesitant at first. She's not like suddenly all in on it. She's trying to resist, but like he just keeps on breaking down with more and more interesting things. Like, and he's open. He's not really trying to hide anything, which was interesting. It's like now that the mask is off, now that he's been revealed to her, she's got to know that like it's kill or join, because he's pretty much said that to all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as soon as he sort of starts describing his history, he was a Jedi. He was at least a Padawan, not necessarily a Padawan, but he was a youngling. He made it as far as youngling. Like, so what is his connection to Soul?
Is the scars on his back made from a whip? They're a weird shape. It's a weird shaped scar.
It is a weird shaped scar. It doesn't look like a normal lightsaber burn at all. Yeah, I mean, I think the High Republic book fans are gonna be real upset if that is the case, and if we end up with Vern being a real big bad, like awful person. But her master sort of had float. I don't know, it was what like some of her lineage, like of where she was trained and stuff. Like, there's been temptations with the dark. Her making a whip, she was trying to hide from her master because it's quite dark, and like that whole the teaching of that and how that came about was not something that the Jedi of that time were like all in favor of. It was seemed a bit like dishonorable and things like that. It's the same reason that they don't use the sort of the fighting techniques that he was using last week, where it's like lots of on off, because it's sort of dishonorable and stuff. It's yeah.
Stevie brings up the fact that how he points out that Jedi are never actually like fully allowed to like live or to show emotion or love or get attachments and stuff, and how like that's kind of a problem, which I agree with. He makes a lot of good points.
Yeah,
he makes a lot of good points. I'm wondering if it's something where he said he wants the power of 2, where he's already got May, and May might be in on the plan. It might be Chimere and May pulling this Parent Trap to get Osha to come over. And wouldn't it be crazy if all 3 of them were Sith?
Maybe.
Like if it was 3 of them. I know the legend according to the Jedi is that there's only 2 of them. There's always only 2. But we have seen times.
We already know that is such a malleable thing. It's like, yeah, sure, like official, like by the if you want to go by that, but like,
and the whole point of this show and the prequels and everything is that the Jedi are stupid.
Yes.
The
Jedi are wrong. Always to there are like no, there wasn't.
But if
guys hiding, there was always maybe sets of 2. Like that was the easiest way of hiding. It's like 2 over here, 2 over there.
Yeah. But Chimere is saying that he wants the 2 as 1. So if they're considered 1, it's illegal in the Sith to have 3. It's him and the 2 is 1. So now they'll be unstoppable against
power of 1. The power of 1, him. The power of 2, them. The power of many, all of them.
May sitting on Osha's shoulders, and they
pretend
like
they're one robe over them.
Yeah.
You could use Coyote Mundy's robe because he's got the taller head, and there you go. Yeah,
but I you know it's I kind of want them both to be bad because I'm really siding with Chimere. I really am. The Jedi is organized religion, which is a thing I do not care for.
Yep.
And this guy's just like, hey, you want to do my thing? You have to do it however you want. Do it. Tap into the power however you feel like you're gonna. If you want the power, then that's how you do it. He's making a really easy case on being anti-Jedi, which is a good thing, I think. I know we grew up thinking the Jedi were the good guy, and they probably are trying, and there's probably some that are trying to be, but unfortunately not. I think Vernestra is not great.
No, I don't.
She's trying to cover things up. Maybe she wants the Jedi to appear to be good.
Well, yeah, she's getting herself wrapped up in politics and everything, and that politician at the end, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. The Jedi have always been forthcoming with us and in the Senate." It's like they're not even forthcoming with each other. Like, what are they not telling you? Yeah.
The only pure good Jedi is Mog, and that is why I'm a part of the Mog squad, and I really hope that you'll all join me.
Yep. I mean, I'm in. I'm on. Yeah.
Right.
I had something. Then the Mog squad threw me. It was going back to the Para 2. Para 2. I feel like Chimere saying that he wants the Para 2 is kind of showing his hand that he is somewhat at least aware of or was connected to everything that happened on Brendark. I think next week when we get the very inevitable flashback episode next week, I think we're gonna see it that he was there. I got that sense from the first flashback where when the witches are hearing off a noise and something's going wrong clearly with their base, like I think he's responsible for that. I think he's been poking and prodding and maybe was helped in the creation of Osha and May. Maybe he knew that the Jedi were going to be there, so this is all just one big setup frame job. I don't know how it will play out, but I do think he is involved with that. He's probably just been looking for other methods. He learned a bit from the Jedi, got kicked out, learned a bit from somewhere else, probably left or got kicked out. He just wants power, and he's all about it.
Yeah. Stevie asks, do we think Chimera is older than he looks?
Could well be.
He kept saying that in a way that was like, yeah, okay, all right, man, we got it. You know,
yeah.
I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, and he's using the power of the dark side to, have unnatural long life. It's something that we know that is in their stuff. Like he can twist and change his appearance. Maybe. Definitely think he's older than he looks. I think he's, at the very least, I'd say he's probably about Soul's age.
Next week we're definitely getting the flashback, right?
Yeah.
And then the finale.
Next week is 7, right?
7 or 8, yeah. So my mid-season prediction that I made, I've just flipped this week and next week's, which I'm happy about.
Next week is directed by the guy who directed the last flashback.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get to see some more of Kelnaka and of Trinity and all those guys.
Probably
nice. And probably Manny at the same time. Yeah, I think that'd be really good. And the two young girls playing May and Osha, I think we'll follow, instead of having Osha be the primary child that we follow with some stuff cutting back to the Jedi. I think we'll follow May's side of it, cutting over to Chimera.
Yeah. Tommy the Duck says the only reason why he keeps Disney Plus is because of Star Wars, but he also mentions, maybe Boy Meets World 2.
Right.
Quick plug, I don't know if you know about this, but James did a Boy Meets World podcast.
That was a lockdown project. That me and a couple of friends did many years ago. We do still have an episode. I think it's the season 1 finale, that Ed was editing, and then we lost it, and then we recorded it again, and we were always like, "Yeah, we'll release it soon," and it never ever came out.
How long ago
was it today?
About
today.
I mean, if you could get a hold of Ed and tell him to release it today,
all right, I'll reach out to Ed.
Yeah. I think he owes you one for the trivia victory last year. So he might. That'd be amazing. Every year, whenever the three of us are together, we'll just post a random picture of the three of us together. Just be like, still coming, guys. It's not. We don't even have the website anymore. I let that slip. So if he's releasing it, it's probably going to be released on live action Star Wars.
Great.
Or on Top 10 Tacos, maybe.
I'll take a week off. Yeah, listen to Top 10 Tacos.
Yeah.
Patrick, did you know that James also has a taco podcast?
I didn't know that.
He's ranking the tacos in the UK.
Wow.
I mean,
how are they in the UK? Because the two things I think of when I think of tacos are not tacos and the UK.
That's funny that. I mean, there's some really good ones. There's some really good ones. There's some really mediocre ones. There's some pretty bad ones. But the ones that we've done so far on the show, generally pretty good.
What's the best taco place in the entire UK?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. We've hit 8. We're only on 8 episodes in.
Far.
Yeah. Casa Azul in Brighton. Okay. It's really good. Really, really good.
Great.
But there's at
He's
least
had
two
tacos,
two
he's
other.
had tacos over here and stuff, so it's not
I
like
can't wait. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had
I don't know
tacos.
what tacos are. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what good tacos are. And my other half used to live in Mexico. Like she used to live like in Mexico City. So
but they don't know what tacos are there
No.
either.
No.
Only SoCal.
Oh my god, it cracked me up. There was an episode where Liz was going on about Squirt, the soda Squirt, and how much she loves Squirt and how much she wished she can get Squirt, and it was such like this delicacy. The next day, I sent
it was never a delicacy. She was just excited.
At Sam's Club. I was at Sam's Club and I took like a picture of a wall of Squirt.
Yeah, she was very excited. Oh,
it's my Mac.
I'm on a Mac.
Oh, James did it. No, people listening to the audio are wondering what's happening.
We're playing with the gestures. Oh, that looks great with Rick McCullen. Yeah, this is what the people tune into live. Like they really want us.
Do you guys think Kiadi Mundi is gonna come back?
No.
I hope so, and he hopes he fights a Sith, and a Sith says, "Here I am on your birthday. I brought a cake."
That'd be great.
I don't think so.
I thought it was really interesting. Tommy the Duck, haggis tacos. I'm not in Scotland, dude. We don't have like that's the opposite end of the country.
I have haggis in California.
I've never had haggis.
Neither have I.
There you go.
Spent a month in Scotland last year and I did not have haggis.
I had blood sausage, which tastes good until the rest of the day. It tastes like you have batteries in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's really good. Blood sausage is really good. It's just the aftertaste lasts 24 hours.
Yes.
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thank you for the offer.
I liked that the Basil and Pip buddy cop show didn't go on too long. I would still watch that as a spin-off. Because I think they'd be really good together. I loved his like powering up to go and charge up to go and stamp on May's foot. But I also really liked the fact that like she's like, this is a little head of a droid. I can easily just go bip and reset factory settings. I thought that was a really nice, like quick, like well, you're sorted.
Does OSHA still have the other half of Pip?
Maybe, or it's left on the forest floor waiting for.
Didn't he like cut something? Didn't he like chop it in half? Am I making that up?
I can't remember. Maybe
I remember that.
I don't remember.
When he came back down from the moths, he like zapped it or something. But maybe I'm making that up.
Could be. But I mean, that was it could have been like the head, because the head was like the torch that was attached to his back. So, and that got picked up. That's what Basil picked up.
Torch.
Yeah, flashlight, whatever.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it because you rarely use the British.
I do really rarely use it. I'm not 100%.
Flashlight's called torches there?
Yeah. We haven't moved beyond like flames on sticks really much.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun. I love it. I love it so much.
Good. It's part of our charm.
Because I almost feel like sometimes you're like trying to make an effort to not say like that's just how I talk most of the time, is like not using the British things, because I'm really just unproud, pretty much ashamed of my country 90% of the time. So I try and avoid.
I know.
I get it. Like you guys shouldn't be either. Like, but
don't adopt us.
No, I mean, hell, if anyone in the UK is listening or watching this, please go and vote tomorrow. Please go and vote tomorrow. It's been 16 years of hell. I can't deal with it for another one. I've already said on Friday. I mean, it's not much better. Let's wait until November and then we'll see. But yeah, no, please, everyone go vote if you're listening to this and you're in the UK and you're eligible to. Do it. Please, Jesus Christ, anyone. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, Pip. Pip's been reset. Now we got Dark Pip because it's got a red light, so Dark Pip. I thought it was really interesting at first through all of that Sol seemed so oblivious that between the switch of May and Osha. But then I was like, well, that's very indicative of the Jedi at this time, that they are just oblivious. And then it's like, we see what we want to see. And he's seeing what he wants to see. I don't know if he was just trying to eke it out of her and if he did know, or if it took until Basil popped out and said, that's not her, dude. But it was quite fast when it wasn't like he went and tried to question her, like, why are you doing this? He just shot up, stunned her.
Well, he was having conversations with her until she messed up. He was saying that, you love that droid.
She revealed, yeah. And then she started asking, like, have you told me everything? Have you told her everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could have known for a lot longer. But again, he's like afraid to approach her. He said he's been thinking about how to say this for years, and he hopes she listens. So it could be that thing where he's just like this whole time been stalling because he knows it's her, and he's just like, fuck, I gotta do something. And then who cut the power? Did he cut the power? Did she cut the power?
I think
Basil cut the power.
I think the ship's just tatty. Because it seemed like when she was on the ship,
it's an old ship.
Like she was getting
the same ship when she was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. She was getting like the memories of that. So I think it is just a really old ship of his. So
what do you think he did? Like, what do you think we're gonna find out? Yeah.
So I've always been curious. I thought maybe Sol was the only innocent of that group of Jedi. My thoughts and theories until this week's episode were that the others of their group maybe saw Chimera, or saw Chimera and did something bad, or just did something bad, or did something bad and also got a hint or some feeling of a dark presence. And that's part of the reason why they're all off in their own forms of isolation, meditating on it, trying to figure out what the fuck this is and if this is something that we really need to be concerned about. So there's lots of meditation, isolation, like what Barrack Vow or whatever it was. Like there's all of that, but Sol was still teaching. Sol was just going about business as usual, which made me think, oh, maybe he wasn't as involved. He was separated from them. We saw when he went and rescued Osha, but I do now think that he was a part of that group of Jedi that did something. I think they might be getting framed for something that Chimera was genuinely responsible for, but I don't think they're completely innocent in the same way. I think they probably were approaching the mothers saying, no, we gave you a choice. We could have done this nice. Now we're going to come and take the kid by force. And then something blows up. At the same time, I think Chimera is in May's head, because when she's starting that fire outside the door, seems a bit in a trance. And we saw the flashes of him like popping into people's heads. Thought that was really interesting. So I think it's a mix of all those things. And I think what do I think he did?
I think that group of people did something bad.
Yeah.
I think Chimera is also involved with this.
Yep.
I think that Sol may have witnessed it. Maybe didn't take a part of it. Maybe left to go check on the girls because he's like, fuck you guys. I'm going to go save the girls.
Yeah.
And has been sort of regretting that he didn't say something. That this is a secret amongst this group, and Sol is trying to just be a normal Jedi. And just as Chris here says, maybe Sol's teaching Osha was his attempt at redemption. I feel like he should have been more transparent with the council. What happened here?
Yeah, the fact that he's now saying that he needs to go and like confess everything. It's like, so none of those guys had told the council what had happened. Like that's been a cover up this whole time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not great.
Yeah. But I mean, Chimera has to be there, right? Because I mean, Osha and May did see that group of Jedi. but it seems like Chimera is the one sending Osha like, oh, here's where Kalnaka is.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's those
he knows all the
specifically,
people.
like, yeah.
Because she would have
He
said, oh, there was a Wookiee guy and there was a balding guy, or a guy who you could tell was going to be balding, and there was Trinity was there. Like, she could say those things, but I have a feeling he was there and knew exactly who these people were.
Absolutely.
And I cannot wait till next week to see what happens.
I think it could be that he already had a grudge against one or multiples of them from the way that he was probably expelled from the Order. Or maybe he was just, maybe. And they were sent by her directly, potentially. Like, she's their next in command. Maybe he's a failed Padawan of hers. Or one of them was the person who took him from his people. And he's really bitter about that and didn't want that, or saw that when that that happens to other kids, he can use them.
Yeah. What do you think, Patrick? You think they're dead the whole time?
I mean, honestly, here's the thing with theorizing. I don't like doing it because I know how people get online when their ideas don't come to pass. And I know that whatever I'm going to think of is not going to be as good as whatever happens on the show. You know what I mean?
We had a mantra once about that.
We have a what?
We had, like, James said it once. It was like, theorizing leads to disappointment. Disappointment leads to the hatred of history.
Yeah. I mean, I like hearing other people's theories, but I try not to think of stuff on my own. I'm just like, well, we'll see where this leads, you know? And this is a show where, like, I like reading spoilers. You know, it's I think it's fun. I also like reading fake spoilers.
Yeah,
and
me
then
too.
seeing people get mad when that doesn't happen.
One of my favorite Star Wars memories is fake spoilers, like the fake
100%.
episode 2 scripts when they were coming out. Loved them.
But this one, almost nothing has come out about this show, so I don't really know what's going to happen, and I think that's fun. So yeah, I don't have any ideas. I wish I did, and I know that's not exciting TV for you guys for your show. But yeah, no ideas.
Yeah, we try to make sure that we had all kinds of theories in Andor and Ahsoka and all this stuff, and none of it ever happens. Usually,
I love when it doesn't.
We're pretty
I'm more excited when it doesn't, because it's a few episodes ago, Patrick, I sort of laid out how I thought the structure of the rest of this season was going to go, and I'm fine with the structure being that way. But like, even when I did that, I was like, all I've got is the slash titles, bookending it. There'll be the other flashback episode. Day and night were the obvious two.
Yeah, you got night right.
And it's I think getting that structure is fine, but it's like the content of it. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't I can't help my brain from coming up with fun theories and stuff like that. But I prefer it when my theories are wrong.
Yeah. Well, you don't want
I haven't
that.
figured it all out. Otherwise, what's the point?
If it's your idea, you feel like it's cliche, or well, that was the obvious choice, you know. So when it's not that, it's exciting. So you're like,
I am not a writer. I shouldn't be able to completely guess these plots.
Right. James had mentioned early on, after the first trailer or something, it's like, oh, I think Manny Jacinto is the secret Sith.
Yeah.
I was
and
not
he got it right.
A lot of people had that thought.
Yeah. But I think what's interesting is, even though we all figured it out, it was kind of cool seeing why.
Yeah, sure.
And one of the things about the show, the thing about the show is it's sort of a mystery show, but they're not lingering on the mysteries too much. No. We found out that there was a twin in the second episode. We found out that Manny Jacinto was the Sith, 4 episodes in, 5 episodes in. So it's not stringing you along. The only thing we don't know still is what happened on the other side of that story. Of course. And I'm really hoping that is a good payoff. I think it'll be interesting. It'll show why Saul has been acting so weird this episode. and it'll be fun to kind of be able to like watch it. It'll be interesting to watch this series again, which is something I never did with any of the other Star Wars shows. It'll be fun to go back and watch it again.
You've never watched any of them again?
I've watched Andor through.
Andor's so good on the rewatch.
Yeah, it really is.
No, even when we were, so Mandalorian season 1 and 2 came out before we started live action Star Wars, and even when we went and did a catch up on that, I didn't rewatch them. I don't know. I don't know.
I've not rewatched Solo since then. Yeah,
I've watched Solo hundreds of times, and I watched the Red Skywalker a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything. I might have gone back and watched like a Bryce Dallas Howard episode or something.
Yeah.
Like her Mando season, and she did the Book of Boba Fett one with Mando. Yeah, like those are like really good. I like her stuff.
I mean, I'd recommend Andor. I think Andor, as Patrick said, it shines on a rewatch. Like when you
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, do it before season 2 or something like that.
Definitely.
Speaking of season 2,
amazing show. Yeah,
this show, like Leslie Headland has said, like this doesn't necessarily have to be a 1-season show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be curious to see what the vitriol does to that in terms of, or if that has any effect. I really hope it doesn't. But we've seen how Disney and Star Wars can sometimes listen to vitriol and take things in different directions. But I'd love to see another season of this show. I'd love to stay with some of these characters. I don't think many of them are going to survive. I don't think Soul survives. But May Ocean
Soul survives?
Right? What's that? I don't think Soul survives.
You do think Soul survives?
He doesn't.
No.
I don't think there's a hope in hell that he survives.
Yeah.
Right. I could see Manny surviving. I could see either of the girls or both the girls surviving. Like I think Vern probably. I could see Vern surviving. I could see Vern maybe.
Yeah.
But I think if Vern survives, I don't know if we're going to be rooting for that.
Yeah.
Because if Vern survives, I feel like she's going to know what's going on. And then that just means that she's kept it quieter and quieter going forward. I
assume Ki-Adi-Mundi survives.
Yeah.
What if he dies?
That'd be amazing.
And his new birthday is.
What if Yoda shows up at the end and he knows about him, and that's why he's.
That's the big question of this show: is do you want Yoda to show up?
No.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean,
really, yeah.
If he does,
well, I mean, when C-3PO showed up in Ahsoka.
Yeah, sorry, Karen. Okay.
Remember when C-3PO showed up in Ahsoka? It's like, oh yeah, I'm just really happy to see C-3PO. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, here's the thing. I trust the showrunners. I trust this story.
Yeah.
So if they use Yoda, it's not going to be stupid. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it'll make sense for Yoda to be in there. But I don't need Yoda. But if he does show up, I'm sure it'll be done right.
I thought for a second when Sol was like, I need to go back to the council. Like I thought that's where he was going. And I thought, okay, we're gonna get some Yoda. We're gonna get not Stacey Tin. We're gonna get
Yariel
Poof and the other one.
Opal Rancisis.
Thank you. Those two exactly. Because they're already on the council at this point. Like I thought we were gonna get those three, maybe. And I mean, hell, maybe we do get one of them, but I don't. I mean, Yaddle's around. Yeah, I don't know if she's made the council yet or anything, but she's around.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's a way of rolling her into this show.
So here's my thing. Like, I feel like when they were coming up with this show, I think Leslie, Ki-Adi-Mundi's twin brothers show up. Yeah. When Leslie Headland started developing this show, I think she was like, here's some things we've never seen in Star Wars. And here's some things I want to bring into Star Wars. And a lot of angry people got mad at those things.
Yep.
When it comes to
she had said that this is the gayest Star Wars show that there's ever been. It's like it's instantly gonna just turn off a hell of a lot of dickheads.
which is fine. But I'm really hoping. That's what I'm hoping for with the season 2. Is they just stick to their guns. Don't listen to the hatred. Just move through it and just like stay on course.
Yeah. Tell the story that you want to tell.
Yeah. Because it's definitely
I get
Willow with focus.
Yeah. I get the impression that they are doing that with the show, and that they seem really proud of it and really happy with it. Like going in, I think they knew that they were going to get a lot of this backlash. I get that impression based on the people that they were inviting up to watch it and stuff like that. It was like people who, it's not just your in the pocket Star Wars fans. Like they were like inviting really good journalists and people who have interesting things to say about TV. Like Joanna Robinson, I think Patrick, you've had her on the show. Like she was up and like is always one of what didn't work out. Okay, bummer. But
didn't work out with Getting Lost either.
Bummer. But is always a good person to like listen to, I think, about like TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Has like
we love Joanna Robinson.
Yeah. But it's people like that when they get invited up. It's like they're proud of this and they want to show this to people that have interesting things to say, not just spewing the same hatred or the same joy of it. Like it's nice. You want those people too, because they can reach a Star Wars audience that likes liking things. But it's also reach another audience that might not normally check out a Star Wars show. So I think they're proud of what they've got, and I just hope that they stick with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the question is
this feels like a YA.
Who are you going to listen to when you make know, the thoughts for renewing
this
stuff?
feels like a YA story, and I'm all for it because Star Wars, believe it or not,
pretty
it's not made for old white dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick, you're still young.
Thank you.
But it's like Star Wars isn't made for us. It was made for us years ago. I mean, even more years for me. But I just wish that people would understand.
Ralph, you're still young. You're young too, Ralph.
I'm as old as Star Wars.
Don't say that.
This is where you get invited back, Patrick. It's just for this.
But it's just one of those things where it's just like, you got to remember, like, and I think I never forget this. Yeah, James is young too. Stevie's correct.
Not as young as Patrick, but I'll take it.
You were both the demographic for episode 1, 100%.
Yeah.
7 years old, baby. 7 years old.
Yeah. I was 20. I was 12.
I was 22.
It was great. Yeah.
Okay, Ralph. Maybe I take it back.
So yeah, totally. But it's one of those things where it's like, I like talking about Star Wars because it makes me feel like a kid. And I don't think that we should lose sight over that. It's like, just, I don't know. Like, it's not, Star Wars was only made for me once. There was only 3 Star Wars movies and 2 Ewok movies that were made for me. And that's it.
The holiday special.
And the holiday special.
And a Richard Pryor show sketch.
Yes, which we haven't covered on live action Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got to do that.
I know. We need to figure out who to have on that episode. I feel like Ken wants in.
Yeah.
You probably want in. Happy birthday to Ken Plume.
Oh, happy birthday, Ken.
Birthday coming up.
Coming up.
Yeah, I found out through Ken that it was coming up.
Which messaged you like, hey, don't forget my birthday's coming.
Yeah, no, he was doing some sort of, he does like a fundraising thing every year.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just, if everyone could just remember, the only Star Wars made for you is the Star Wars that was made when you were 7 to 15 or whatever. And the rest is just, just for funsies.
Yeah.
The Acolyte is not made for me at all.
No. And
But
you don't have to like it all. You really don't have to like it all.
It's still fun. It's still fun for me. In fact, it's made me like Star Wars again. As much as I enjoyed Ahsoka and as much as I enjoy those other things, like this is the first show that has me excited because I don't know what any of the characters are. Like I don't know who any of these people are, except Kiara-Mundi, and I'm not even mad about that. But it's making me excited for what's to come because I don't have no idea. And I very much enjoy this show. I think it's a ton of fun, and I like that I don't know where it's going.
Yep. I don't either. It's great. It's I think the only, like, we can say that a flashback episode's coming next week. I feel very obvious. But beyond that, I have no idea. Don't know what the season finale is going to be.
Predict the title? What was the last flashback episode called?
It was called Destiny. So I think Choice. The flip.
What was this? Oh, okay.
The flashback? The flashback was called Destiny?
Yeah.
Oh, Choice.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the finale is going to be called Frost Nixon.
Face Off.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do they line up? Lost/Found could be Teach/Corrupt. That was the first one. So this could be like the other side of it. So that would mean that we'd need one that would match up with Revenge/Justice.
Return. Because return is the opposite of revenge. We all know that from George.
Right.
Justice, Avenge.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Or Avenger.
Yeah, that's what they should call it. They should call it Avenger.
Yeah. It absolutely won't be. And that's great. Okay. I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else for this week's episode?
No.
Fun.
No.
It was a fun episode.
It was
those last few moments are great.
Yeah.
With the helmet.
Yeah. The helmet?
Yeah. Sensory deprivation. Super cool.
Cool.
Love a sensory deprivation thing.
And to see the actual POV of the eye slits, and he really can't see anything.
Oh yeah.
Like, it just shows you that he's all force. He's on instinct.
It makes him feel even stronger.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about it last week, but just the fact that he would go in and like headbutt a lightsaber is amazing. It's so different. Like, we've never seen anyone fighting like that before. I mean, I assume that we get one more like lightsaber battle with him. Probably
next week's a flashback, and then the finale will be the full blown whoever, Venestra's clearly on the tail.
Yeah. I mean, she's going after Saul. Yeah.
Dude, how funny was that shot when Saul hyperspaced out of there, and then Venestra hyperspaced
just jumped straight in.
Later.
She would have flown right into him.
Yeah.
I mean, the show's trash. Doesn't make any sense. Can't do it. No, It's over. Cancel it. Doesn't make any sense. That's not how hyperspace works.
Right.
Fucking stupid.
Hyperspace only happens on Kid Mundy's birthday.
Which is allowed. He's allowed to get married. That was the old other bullshit because of his species. It's so silly. Yeah. Accidental holder. That's the other name of our podcast.
Supernova. Accidental holder. Cool. Patrick, you have anything to plug?
Naboo movie, NabooMovie.com. Well, you can watch. Some filmmakers made a documentary about the George Lucas talk show. It just got released on VOD. You can go to I'mGeorgeLucas.com. You can watch.
I saw the movie. I think I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah. And then
really
in a few weeks, it'll be up on more platforms where you can watch it. And then hopefully soon it'll be on Blu-ray. That's the hope.
Great.
So, but I'mGeorgeLucas.com. You can watch all the George Lucas talk show stuff on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on X, I guess. Go to my website. Whatever you want to do. All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
And keep an eye out for the Naboo movie 2.
And keep an eye out for Getting Lost, because I make a substantial appearance in that.
That's not up to either of us.
But it is coming soon. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure you will be seen in that movie somewhere.
You did not attend the Milford School.
Yeah. James, have anything?
Nah.
Can't wait to see you next week.
Have you
back?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to be back.
Acolyte.
Can't wait for my mouth to not taste like sawdust.
You know how you can fix that? Blood sausage.
No, I'm good.
Punch it.